Hello, today is Thursday, June 4th, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to the Associated Press, tensions in the Middle East escalated further this week as the United States confirmed airstrikes on radar and drone sites in Iran after an American drone was shot down over the weekend. Iran retaliated by targeting U.S. soldiers in Kuwait with missiles, though the U.S. reported intercepting those attacks. These developments underscore the persistent instability surrounding the Iran-US-Israel conflict, a dispute defined by years of missile attacks, cyber warfare, and proxy battles that have rippled beyond the borders of Iran, Israel, and the United States. Proxy actors such as Hezbollah and Hamas often extend the theater of conflict, leading to regular clashes across Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza. Key decision-makers in this standoff include President Ebrahim Raisi of Iran, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, and U.S. President Joe Biden, each relying on their militaries, the IRK, IDF, and U.S. Central Command respectively, as well as on proxy forces and key defense contractors. Multiple reports this week reinforce the combustive nature of the conflict. Reuters noted Israeli airstrikes against Iranian-backed militias in Syria on June 3. Al Jazeera confirmed U.S. Navy interceptions of Iranian drones in the Persian Gulf, and the Times of Israel detailed rising casualties as Israeli officials warned Hezbollah against further attacks. The near-term impact is likely to hit energy markets and civilian security. Military exchanges risk disrupting vital shipping routes in the Persian Gulf, possibly sending oil prices sharply higher. Meanwhile, cross-border missiles may cause rising casualties in Lebanon, Syria, and Israel, with the danger of a broader war. Medium-term concerns include new rounds of international sanctions on Iran and the formation of shifting alliances, all of which could significantly alter the region's diplomatic and economic landscape. Next, turning to technology, NVIDIA continues to reshape the global AI landscape, as highlighted by Business Insider. At Computex in Taiwan, CEO Jensen Huang unveiled the RTX Spark and the next-generation Blackwell GPU architecture, setting the pace for both hardware and software innovation in artificial intelligence. Since launching CUDA in 2006, NVIDIA has led the charge on deep learning acceleration, and the rise of generative AI like ChatGPT has only intensified demand for their H100 and now Blackwell chips. Today, software frameworks such as TensorRT, cuDNN, and CUDA underpin much of the world's AI model deployment and infrastructure, powering cloud platforms and research centers globally. Giants like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta rely on NVIDIA GPUs for everything from language models to recommendation engines. At this year's Computex, NVIDIA announced the Blackwell GPU's staggering 20 petabytes per second of memory bandwidth, according to TechRadar. Microsoft will soon offer Blackwell chips on Azure for enterprise training and inference workloads, while Meta is already testing Blackwell GPUs for more efficient scaling of its Llama 3 language model clusters. The consequences could be far-reaching. Rapid Blackwell adoption promises to lower inference costs and bring generative AI tools to more industries within the year. Rival chip makers like AMD and Intel now face heightened competitive pressure, spurring faster innovation and possible market consolidation well into 2025. At the same time, NVIDIA's dominance in ecosystem software could standardize future machine learning development, but growing supercomputing power in the hands of a few might also limit resource access for less well-funded organizations. Moving to global tech giants, TechCrunch reports that Alphabet, the parent company of Google, has announced a massive $80 billion investment in AI infrastructure, marking its largest single-year capital spend ever. This strategic play is intended to supercharge the development of Gemini and other advanced AI capabilities, while also doubling Google's AI infrastructure footprint by late 2027. Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai is leading this initiative, with vital supply partnerships secured with NVIDIA and TSMC for state-of-the-art chips and data center expansion. The news sent both TSMC and NVIDIA shares up by 2%, according to Bloomberg. Alphabet's focus will be expanding data centers, ramping up AI chip output, and boosting cloud capacity through 2027, all while the company's rivals Microsoft and Amazon monitor closely for competitive ripples. The short-term fallout is likely to be a global technology arms race, as big players compete for critical AI resources and supply chains. Demand for advanced chips and cloud compute is forecast to spike later this year, possibly leading to supply shortages. In the medium term, Alphabet's unprecedented push could accelerate AI integration across industries, pressure regulators to rapidly update oversight, and spark a wave of new acquisitions and international alliances as global tech competition intensifies. Now, onto the markets. International markets saw mostly declines today. Germany ended lower, with its DAX tracking EWG falling about 1.8%, while France's EWQ shed 1.2%. The United Kingdom's EWU also slipped 1.1%. Italy and Spain both lost ground, with EWI and EWP down 1.6 and 1.1%, respectively. Netherlands' EWN dropped 1.3%, but rose over 6% for the month. Chile and Belgium moved down, with ECH off 1.6% and EWK losing 0.9%, while Australia declined 1.7% with EWO. China large cap Vir FXI slid 2.3% and Taiwan's EWT ended nearly flat for the day but remains up sharply this month. Japan managed a small gain with EWJ slightly up. India, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Malaysia notably all posted further losses, with IDX sliding 4.7% on the day. Commodities were mixed. Gold slipped slightly, silver lost over 2.6%, and platinum fell over 3.7%, but US oil USO rose more than 2.6%. Copper dropped nearly 2.9% for the session. Agriculture also softened, with DBA down about 1% and corn and wheat ETFs under pressure. Among favorite U.S. stocks, AMD stood out with a 4% daily gain and over 52% monthly surge, while ARM advanced 2.2%, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Oracle lagged, each down between 2 and 5%. The S&P 500 ETF slipped 0.7%, while semiconductor stocks outperformed with a 1.8% daily rise and a 27% monthly jump. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.